Assalamu alaikum. Today we are going to draw this irregular polygon. Over here angles are given and the length of each line is given over here, and that's also given in fractions. We are going to learn how to draw a line by typing the fractions, the mixed number in AutoCAD. So over here, the other thing to notice here is that the length of line AK is not given. You're going to start with indefinite length, and then you're going to create an angle 135, and then follow the length for each lines and angle for each line, and then come back over here, and the last one JK with 135 degree angle to this line. It's going to meet that horizontal line and cut it off, and wherever it cuts it off, that's going to be the length of this horizontal line. And it's not exactly 1/3/8, that's why it says check. So it's very close to it, but it's not exactly. Let's go to AutoCAD. Open your template and save as. Save as exercise 1. Go to mark space. In object layer, draw a horizontal line. You can start at 10, 10, 5 units long, and that's just approximately, because we don't know how long actually it's going to be. So now the next line is at angle 135. So we are going to use the polar tracking. If you don't have polar tracking on, you are going to click on these 3 lines and check polar tracking. That is right over here. Check that, and it will appear over here. Click on the arrow next to it, and you are going to select a series of angles that is suitable for this. So since over here we have 15, 40, 15, 135, 120, 105, 90, 75 and 60 degree angles, so we are going to use 5, 10, 15, 20 series. Now the next thing is that we need to draw from this horizontal line 135 angle over here. And angle is always calculated in AutoCAD started from x-axis. So in this case actually we don't have to do anything, so we are going to draw this line and we are going to hold it, and as you can see over here, this angle, it's going to snap on 5 degree increments, and as it reaches 135, you are going to hold your cursor and then type the length of the line, and length of AB is 1 5/16. And the way you're going to type it, you're going to type 1-5/16. So it should look like this, and then you're going to press enter. So that was 1. Then either you enter again or press spacebar again to discontinue the line. Now we are going to use the use of UCS. Since this line is not on x-axis, and angle we need to calculate from here, and it's 120 degree angle. So we're going to type UCS and click on the end of this line, and then track on line backwards. So now x is lying on this line, and then we are going to click in this direction So now our angle is going to be calculated between x and y, or it may even go beyond y, but it's going to start with x. So now you're going to click on line again, click at the endpoint, and now you can see the angle is calculating from the x-axis. So now we need to keep going until we reach 120, and then hold your cursor there and type the length of the line, and the length of the line over here is 2 and 1/16. So it's going to be 2-1/16. Enter. Enter again. You can also use spacebar. The spacebar works same as the enter. So now you're going to type UCS again, click at the endpoint, trace back for the x-axis over here and y on this direction. So you can click anywhere on this direction on the right side. So now line again, click on endpoint, and then we are going to follow the angle at 90 degree, and then type the length of CD is 3/4 of an inch, so it's 3/4. Enter again, UCS, click at the endpoint, drag back on the line and click somewhere, and then the angle we need is between this x and in this direction, so click over here anywhere. Again line, click at the endpoint, and this time our angle is 105, so holding at 105, type the length of DE, 1 1/4, so 1-1/4. Enter again, type UCS, click on the endpoint, drag back on the line, and this time the direction is to the right. Click once, click on line. This time the angle is 105 from the x-axis. So hold your cursor at 105 and type the length. Length EF is 11/16, so it's 11/16. Enter. Enter again, type UCS, click at the endpoint, trace back for the x-axis and upward for the y-axis. You can click anywhere in this direction. Now the length of FG is 7/8 of an inch, so line again, snap at the endpoint, and don't forget to use your snap settings. You will be using endpoint, but I have those on because those are just useful in general. So the angle between those two lines is 90-degree angle. So hold that on 90 degree, your cursor, and then type the length. FG is 7/8 of an inch. Enter again, UCS, click at the endpoint, drag back on the line, and then click to the right. Line again. This time the angle between those two is 75. Hold your cursor at 75 degrees, and then add the length of GH, that is 1 3/4. So you're going to type 1-3/4. Enter again, type UCS, click at the endpoint, drag back for x-axis, and then click downward anywhere is fine. Click on line, click on the end point, and the angle between those two is 60 degrees. So hold your cursor at 60 degrees and type the length for line HJ, which is 1 and 13/16. So let's type 1-13/16, enter. UCS, click at the end point, track back on the line, and then you want downward this time. So anywhere is fine as long as it's in this direction. You have two options, either upward and downward. So we want downward, and the cursor can be anywhere. So click once, go online, and this time if you start from here, you want your line to be 135, and 135 in this direction is 45 degree downward. You're going to hold it at 45 degrees and then go beyond the horizontal line, and after that trim both of those lines. Your drawing is complete. Now put your UCS back to the default. So type UCS, click on this end, go horizontal and then vertical for Y. So that's the default position for X and Y. Then go to the layout, double click inside the viewport and zoom extents. Give it an appropriate scale. 2:1 looks good. Lock your viewport and then double click outside the viewport. You go to dimension layer. All the dimensions are angular. You may press the bar in between, such as now. You can just press spacebar and it will allow you to add dimensions again. It will resume the command. Spacebar. Okay, that completes the drawing. Until next time, Allah Hafiz.